You have found the Titus Podcast Armageddon Update with hosts Christopher Titus, Rachel Bradley, and Ken Highland. And now, here's Christopher Titus with this week's Armageddon Update.
I'm Christopher Titus, and this happens to be the Armageddon Update. It was all a hoax, people. The worst accused pedophile in American history, the man who did time in Florida for human sex trafficking and was mentioned by our dear leader as liking women, some of them on the younger side.
In a 2002 magazine article, Trump called Epstein a terrific guy, adding, "It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side."
This picture should concern everyone. How old is that child? And Jesus, how old is his daughter?
Perhaps I'd be dating
Well,
her.
the good news is that they have finally cracked the case. In fact, our amazing and incredibly unqualified Attorney General and the stunningly alert and roided up podcasting team currently running the FBI. That's right, people. Two men with zero experience are running our federal police investigative force. Anyway, this brain trust has determined that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. And our Attorney General and Trump cheer team leader has stated that there is no Jeffrey Epstein client list. Now, this is after she said she had the Jeffrey Epstein client list.
It's sitting on my desk right now.
And was reviewing the Jeffrey Epstein client list.
That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president.
And was going to release the Jeffrey Epstein client list.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients.
Then during a press conference where Pam Bondi and Sweet Potato Hitler were asked about the Jeffrey Epstein client list, Trump got right on it. He said,
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy. It just seems like a desecration.
Wait. We're trying to find out about America's worst pedo and his pedo buddies, and that's desecration? Desecration, bro. You buried your ex-wife in your backyard. Desecration. You called our troops suckers and losers. Desecration? Have you seen that piss-colored raccoon swirly on your head? So here we are. After years of going after Hillary's emails, after years of investigating a laptop supposedly owned by Biden's son and finding nothing, after raking Joe over the coals for years and finding nothing, no charges, no indictments, no co-conspirators, no receipts, or thank you notes, or free airplanes from terrorists. Yet the pedophile connected to Prince Andrew, numerous rich and powerful people, and best friend of our current bankrupt felon rapist president, for some reason, that case has been closed. Yeah, the death of this pedophile, as weird as it was, the guards were taking a nap, the cameras were down, he hung himself from a 5-foot-high bed and had fractures on the left and right side of his larynx, and the forensic pathologist Epstein's brother hired found that the 3 fractures are extremely unusual in suicidal hangings and occur much more commonly in homicidal strangulation. Also, you don't leave fingerprints on bed sheets. But these podcasters have the truth. Cool. Epstein's brother said he wasn't suicidal, that he was talking about his bail hearing. This is the biggest cover-up since Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello! We literally have pictures of Trump and Epstein creeping over just a whole party of young girls, doing the white man's overbite.
Footage from 1992 found in the NBC archives shows the future president welcoming Jeffrey Epstein to his Mar-a-Lago estate. Both men are seen enjoying themselves, Trump pointing out women dancing in front of them.
We have Epstein saying Trump was his best friend.
That was close to straight.
And we have Trump getting sued by a girl who said she was raped by Trump and Epstein when she was 13. We have women who testified that they were used for sex with rich men by Epstein and paid by Epstein since they were as young as 13.
Michelle Licata sat next to Courtney in court. She too says she was assaulted inside Epstein's sprawling Palm Beach estate.
I was 14. I had braces on.
Virginia Giuffre had filed a suit against Epstein. She got death threats and then she took her own life. Guess what? Virginia actually committed suicide. So, after hearing about the Epstein files for years, after being told there was a list, after knowing that Kim Jerk Orange was on Epstein's plane 7 times, after this weird-ass response.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would.
And this weird ass response.
I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
And his firm denial.
I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan.
And after this guy settled a lawsuit, after this bank and this bank also settled a lawsuit with the victims, and after Jeffrey Epstein's right-hand side piece has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for recruiting young girls, case closed.
I just wish her well.
If we had one piece of evidence this clear about Hillary or Hunter, they'd be under the jail.
I didn't say lock her up. Lock her up is right.
I'm just glad Dumb and Dumber and Dumberer are honoring their oath to protect and serve the bankrupt felon, best friend of the worst pedophile in American history. Because they sure as hell aren't working for the American people. Don't let the darkness get to you, kids. Scream sanity. We'll get through this. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Case closed. Yep, that's right. The guy that we definitely have all the evidence that he's a pedophile. They bitched about pedophiles for years. Said they were drinking baby's blood. And now, the worst pedophile that we've ever seen in American history, they just let us go. And I'm talking about the president. Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. How are you doing? With me as always, the lovely bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
There could be only one.
So we have now the most amazing thing happen. I don't understand how the Trump administration every fucking week does something where you're like, really? So we've been investigating the worst pedophile, not just a possible, he may be a pedophile. This dude did time. But if you look at the way he did time, he didn't really time, in Florida for being a sex trafficker, pedophile guy. Then we know that Trump got sued by a girl who said that Epstein and Trump raped her when she was 13.
Which everybody forgot about already.
They forgot about it, but then, you can look it up, by the way. I'm not making any of this up. And also, so there's all this stuff. Then you got Ghislaine Maxwell's doing 20 years in prison. And then they came out and Pam Bondi was like, yeah, you know what? Turns out there's no client list. Yeah, nothing. We're not even sure he was a pedophile. And he killed himself. He fell. He was in a jail cell. He fell. We don't know what happened to him.
He tripped while he was...
Yeah, and so there was fingerprints on his neck. There was, and the guards fell asleep and the cameras broke. And, it's weird. You know what? A lot of coincidences
happens all the time.
Had to come together to make it not. So we're good. And then Trump gets on and goes, well, are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Trump always has a tell. He always has a tell. If someone goes after him, it's not. He just attacks.
He gets defensive immediately.
He's like,
"Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. Are people still talking about this guy? This creep? That is unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration. This guy raped children and helped other powerful people rape children for decades. So yes, we're still talking about it.
But also, the evidence is, as I said in the Armageddon Update, if there was one piece of evidence linking Hillary or Hunter or Biden to any of this, they'd be under the jail. Yeah. And that we have so much evidence, plus someone who's actually doing jail time for it. But I want to point something else out. So Ghislaine Maxwell knows all the world where all the bodies are buried, right? She agreed to do 20 years. Do you know how powerful these cats have to be that she's like, you know what? I think I'll be safer in prison for 20 years because I'm not giving up anybody.
I'll see my way to the jail.
No, I don't. Which jail's this way? Yeah. This to the left. It's to the left?
Yep.
All right. So we can talk about that later. We are going to talk to somebody right now. We have, just so you guys know, we have spent some time. We had the Election Truth Alliance on with Nathan Taylor, and you guys all saw it. everybody started to see the data in a way that we hadn't thought about it. So the conspiracy theory of the election being stolen or manipulated in 2020 and 2024, all of a sudden the numbers start to show that, it's not a crazy conspiracy theory. It's actually backed up by data and stuff that happened. So please welcome back to the program. Do we have a program? Is it a program?
Yes. Part 17.
Yeah, part 17 of the Election Truth Alliance saga. Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Taylor. Hey, man.
Hey.
Back for more. Thanks so much for having me again.
Well, we've been watching that this is kind of building a little bit. The Rockland, since you were on, the Rockland case got filed. We're noticing anomalies in other places now that people are going, hey, wait, how come this is so weird? So where are we? Give us some, we let you talk for a minute and you tell us, go ahead.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask, there's new stuff in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, let's do a quick refresher.
Okay.
And obviously, the last time I was on, I'm the co-founder of Election Truth Alliance, Nathan Taylor. We're a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization, and we're investigating the 2024 election. But I think what's important as we go forward, and we're going to talk about all this stuff. What's interesting is we are kind of getting into a point now where I'm building the ETA with my awesome volunteer friends to fight this fight, not just for right now, but it looks like we're building the ETA to become a thing into the future, into the midterms, into the next elections. And so as we're going to talk about here, we'll talk about what's going on, but we'll also talk about what comes next, and we'll have a little summary and everything. So refresh me. What did we last talk about? I believe we highlighted
everything. We talked about
Pennsylvania, right?
We did 3 hours. We not only did we talk about the 2020 election that the numbers started changing at 500. Then we talked about mail-in, and I've told people, I said, so mail-in screwed their idea up. So in 2024 the vote started changing at 250 as opposed to 500.
We'll talk about we talked about the Russian tail.
What
was it called? Vote analysis. I'm trying to think of all the graphs.
How the machines could be used, could be kind of Wi-Fi'd. Okay. So we talked way too long.
We talked about Nevada at the end too. So big thing was Pennsylvania and Nevada. So what we'll talk about this time around, we'll kick it off. We'll talk about Rockland County, right? The lawsuit with smart elections, smart legislation. We'll also talk about. We'll dive back into Pennsylvania and some of the new stuff we found.
Yeah, you don't need to give us a chapter. Just go.
All right. Well, let's bring it up. So I will pull up my beautiful PowerPoint here, as is my way. Let me make sure. Can you see this well?
Yes. Yep, do you like is the Rockland thing pretty solid?
Oh yeah.
There's a Rockland County Times did an article that just came out that says that the state Supreme Court could order the hand recount.
Yeah. So we actually provided some of the statistical data that smart elections or their legal arm, which is smart legislation, went on to use to file their lawsuit and then really kick things off. I did prepare a little slide for it, but what's important here is they do talk about a few things, but the foundation for their case, for their pursuit of recounts, is they have sworn affidavits from, I believe, 7 voters that voted third party in some of the places. And there were, I believe, some precincts or some districts where there was less than 7 voters for an independent candidate. And that was Diane Sayre. So they had like 5 votes, but 7 people said they actually voted in that area. And that was just one of the issues. On the right, we have a little graph kind of showing, it's pretty much showing drop off, which is Harris is getting, on average, I think we estimated, but she is on average underperforming the Senate race all across Rockland County. And Smart Elections use that, and they highlighted some of these towns. So here's Clarkstown. And it's just saying the same concerns we have highlighted, the Election Truth Alliance has highlighted in Pennsylvania, in Nevada, and other swing states. It doesn't make sense for voters to consistently across multiple precincts and multiple counties just not vote one party at the top of the ticket and then swap their vote.
Nathan, I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to just clear this up. So basically, you're saying that so basically, people voted for the Senate candidate, the Democratic Senate candidate, and then for some reason decided not to vote for the president, not to vote for like not even not even a vote for either candidate, but just left the presidential vote blank. And that's ridiculous.
They were busy. They had to run errands.
Most of the data we've collected shows there's a switch where they'll vote Trump top of the ticket, and then they'll vote Democrat down ballot. And it'll be enough to win the races for those Democratic candidates down ballot. But then Trump will win top of the ticket across multiple counties and multiple states.
So why would anybody vote Democrat down ballot but put Trump as president?
Yeah.
Or not vote for president, which happened over and over and over. I mean, that was a highly contentious election for president. So nobody voting for a Democrat senator is going to just leave.
Exactly.
You know,
if you make all the effort to go to the voting booth and then vote for the other Democrat down ballot, you're not going to skip the fucking president.
And so what's interesting, we've highlighted this before. We'll highlight this again. Our concern is, as you said, why would people do this? And why are they doing this in such a specific way? And why is it occurring all across the U.S. in the swing states and even some non-swing states? And so we are concerned, as we said before, as we put out when we talked about Nevada and Pennsylvania last time, we are concerned that there may be a compromise of our tabulation machines and our tabulation system that we use for our elections. So we have this graph up. I believe we talked about this last time. I like to use this one because we're going to expand it a bit. But we have a graph up that shows the top 2 voting tabulation brands in the U.S. And 70% of the U.S. uses these. But also the concern here is these systems could be, some, for example, back in 21 or so, there was a incident where in Coffee County, Georgia, in January 21, a attorney associated with the Trump administration, Trump campaign at the time, they were invited into a elections office where they were able to copy Dominion machine hard drives and software images that later, could have been spread out or, made public. And a concern, that's just one of the concerns. There's a few others that have been highlighted, especially in Mesa County, Colorado, where if you were to have compromised these tabulation machines, the top 2 brands, and the leading brand, as we spoke about before, perhaps is we're finding that their tabulation systems may have cellular modems in them. If you were to somehow compromise these brands, could you change votes? Could you change the outcome of races at the presidential or even the lower levels? Mm-hmm. And so what's interesting is Rockland County uses the number 1 brand we highlight here as well.
Which is ESS? Is that ESNS?
It is in this case.
Uh-huh. So my question is this.
ESNS.
My question is this. So when you say copy the hard drive, I'm not quite sure what that would mean. Copy the hard drive so they could figure out the voting program. And didn't one of the guys from Doge came out, one of the kids from Doge say all it would take is to change 1 line of code?
So let's talk a little bit about why our system is the way it is in the U.S.
Okay.
My background being in cybersecurity, 25 Bravo computer tech specialist in the Army Reserves, got my degree in network security and information systems and became a signal officer in the Army Guard. What's important is our election systems work off of a concept where it is, it's obscure. That is our excuse, is we have proprietary software and machines, and only the companies know how they work. And it's security through obscurity is really what it's called. And in my opinion, this is a stupid thing to do because it doesn't work if bad faith actors or people who want to do bad things, they just go learn about these machines. They put themselves in positions to get the information, and then the machines are no longer obscure to the people who want to potentially compromise them. It doesn't work. That's why there's this big push to go open source with a lot of things, because anyone can look at how something is working and run and make sure it looks good.
Right. If we have a bunch of people that know how everything works, we can actually, that a bunch of us can look at it and go, no, this has been fucked with.
You can see where the flaws are.
But if you got one guy, you got Lex Luthor running the voting machines.
It's all perfect.
I got the security. We're fine.
All buttoned up.
So I think, that's even sounds like as you explained it, even sounds dumb for security.
Right. And the concern we're having now is we've started digging into the machines we're using in the U.S. We started digging into how these companies are actually having their machines certified by third parties. a lot of questions are starting to come up where are they actually being certified? There's been some recent things that may evolve in Pennsylvania where we're finding counties sworn and had documentation saying they certified some of their machines. And we're finding out that might not actually be true. So I think what's important is as we go forward, the issue with our current system is if you know how to mess with the machines, you could potentially change things around. And then the question then is, well, what would be some symptoms of you messing with things digitally? What would be some symptoms? And I think we touched base on this last time, but the reason we want to bring up Rockland County and then show you some of the new things we have is because Rockland County has a potential issue of the down ballot that could be caused. A consistent underperformance for one candidate could be caused by vote manipulation, where you're deleting or changing votes. And you're doing it across multiple counties and multiple states, and it's going to cause a certain effect. So any questions on that before we go to the next part?
Let's just get to what, because we've kind of covered this on the first 3 hours with you. So what we want to do is I want to see where it's gone from now and how much deeper we are into it and where you've found. We know about Rockland because that came after we had you on, and now that's going to go to court, or it's already in court, and it may go to a recount. Is there people looking around in other places?
Yes. So we have started talking about North Carolina. So last we spoke about Pennsylvania. We had some updates, but we've also started talking about North Carolina. And we're seeing the same anomalies that we've talked about. We're seeing the same drop-off issues. And we've now quantified the amount of votes that we are concerned about in Pennsylvania and North Carolina. And we've asked the question, if this amount of votes is enough, would it change the outcome of the state races? And so North Carolina also uses across the state, majority of their counties also use that number one machine brand in this case.
Maurice Green?
We will show you just...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nathan, to interrupt you. Was Senator Maurice Green, was that a Democrat?
Yes.
Oh my God. So wait. So they voted for the senator, but there's 122,231 votes fewer for Kamala. That's crazy.
This episode brought to you by Lumen. Yay!
Oh, Lumen. I got another one. I keep losing.
Christopher Titus is actually a shareholder in Lumen now because he loses them all the time. I still have my very first one.
I've lost 3.
He's on his 4th.
With your phone.
It is... Yesterday, I talked to my uncle Philip and Aunt Julie in New York, and it was the entire topic of conversation.
Right.
Except for the segment about family sucks. It is a game changer. My uncle, who is 69, runs 7 miles every morning through New York City, has lost 14 pounds. He did not need to lose 14 pounds. He says he looks like the shit. So they love it. They have all their friends using it now. It's a handheld metabolic device that measures your metabolism. And it never ceases to blow my mind that it works. So if you kind of get off your plan a little bit and then you're like, I gained a few pounds back, I'm going to get back on you drop weight like that. It's
crazy. Changes your metabolism. What it does is as day to day, it kind of basically tells you what to eat and how much carbs, protein, and fat. And then what it does is your metabolism, it starts to change your metabolism so you're burning more efficiently. And then next thing you know, like I started again, got my new one after losing the 3rd one, and I'm already down 2 pounds in 3 days. Nice.
It does coach your metabolism. So I think the most important measurement is the one in the morning, and it's on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being amazing,
high-fiving everybody.
Yeah, 5 being like, oh man, it means you're burning carbs when you when you wake up, which you don't want to do. And then you just look on the app, and they've added so many things. It's insane, but it'll then give you your macros for the day, what you need to eat of each, and then recipe ideas for every meal. And you just enter your food, but they made that easy too, because you can now hold your camera over your plate and it will scan your plate and put
That's cool.
the info in.
It'll take a picture also, so you grab a bar or something with a and it's got it's got all the stuff on the sides, all the calories, all the stats. Instead of having to enter it in, you just you take your phone and you hit the other thing. It says barcode. Hit the barcode. It goes. Yeah, it fills amazing. It in. Yeah.
And then once it does train your metabolism and it gets to this optimal place, you will find that you can cheat. And your metabolism will just burn through whatever. I mean, I got to the point where I could just eat anything.
But don't lose it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't lose the lumen for the
How do we get it?
Fourth time. So warmer months are coming. Spring back into your health and fitness. Go to lumen.me/Titus to get 15% off of your lumen. That's lumen.me/Titus for 15% off. Thank you, Lumen. We love this has been the greatest game changer for me ever.
Science is awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we're actually going to visualize this for you too. But what's important here is if you're changing things with the tabulators and you're causing a drop off, we are seeing across North Carolina, all of the counties with the numbers, we're seeing that Harris is getting 122,000 less votes than the down ballot Democratic senator candidate. Or in this case, no, it's the superintendent actually in North Carolina.
Wow.
So this isn't the senator, this is the superintendent.
Okay.
And then Trump is doing the opposite. He's getting 191,000 more votes in that case. So we did visualize this for you. And as I said, North Carolina uses that number one brand. 93 of their counties use the number one brand that we talked about. And in this case, it is ESNS. And so this is a baseline real quick. I'm going to show you. So we pulled the data for 2016, North Carolina, how the Democrats and the Republicans performed at the presidential level versus how do they perform at the superintendent level? Because the superintendent is a few races down the ballot, but it's still a really good example of our concerns.
Okay.
So in this case, the way you read this graph, the bottom axis, the x-axis, is every county in the state. The y-axis, which is the numbers on the left, it is the percentage difference from the president to the superintendent. If you were above 0%, you got more votes. If you are below 0%, you got less votes. And there's a red and or in this case, there's a blue, which is the Democrats, and a red/orange line per county. And that's for the Republicans.
Got it.
And so we're going to highlight this just because this shows what we would argue is a more normal voting pattern. Both presidential candidates are around 1% to 2% more popular on average. That's normal. We see that going back a few elections. We see that in places outside of the swing states in the 24 election.
Pretty much.
So any questions on this? This is what we're saying is more normal.
But this is normal going back like many elections, right? This is just a normal there's a normal
two elections
pattern, right?
In the past.
Right, but this you can keep going back further in 1%, 2% difference. That's fairly normal. This is a normal thing. This is 2016, and then things got weird in 2020 and 2024, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, so normal generally looks like 1% to 2% more votes for the president than the down ballot candidates. The president is more popular.
Right.
So we're going to show you North Carolina for 2024. I'll just let you guys look at this for a second.
What the fuck? What? That's impossible. That's literally impossible. Especially
explain what you're seeing here.
Just my sister. My sister was in the campaign in North Carolina. She was working on the campaign for Kamala. That's nuts. How can it be 100% above the line? I don't see any blue
what
at all.
Seeing is
what
across
the fuck?
Across every county in North Carolina,
even the blue counties.
Even the blue counties, Harris is getting less votes than the superintendent. And then the opposite for Trump. He's always getting more votes across every county.
That's it. It's not as we talked earlier, Nathan, that's not a statistical improbability. That's an impossibility. Yeah. It's literally
that's
in
order for this to be pulled off. So the problem here is it's too consistent. From county to county, it's too consistent. Humans don't vote like this.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Humans can't vote like this.
Right.
This is indicative of something else potentially changing votes for one candidate.
Stealing, election manipulation. This is voter.
It could be vote deletion. It could be vote switching. Either way, you're getting less votes than down ballot candidates, and you're getting it all across the state.
It looks like you just
it just is not
like you just photoshopped it and flipped it. Like,
well, so the mirroring is really interesting as well, as you highlighted before. If you were changing votes from Harris and giving them to the other candidate, it would create a bit of a mirroring effect, which is interesting that we do see that across not just North Carolina. We see some of the same concerns in Pennsylvania, Arizona, a little bit in Wisconsin. And what's important is we can estimate how many votes this is, but we also have another way to do it as well using precinct level voting data.
This is impossible.
This is North Carolina. Well, let's look at Pennsylvania. I think we talked about this last time, maybe, but I don't know if we showed it this way. We broke down Pennsylvania by vote type. Remember, you talked about 2020, and we talked about concerns with mail-in ballots looking far more normal, voting-wise. Well, so we've put that here for you. This is Pennsylvania for 2024. We have mail-in on the left. It looks a lot more like 2016 for North Carolina.
Yeah, it looks like a normal election.
Both. Right. And then on the right, we have election day, which is where we're seeing a lot of our concern.
Holy shit.
There's the tail.
Yeah, there it is right there. Oh my God.
Wow.
So my question is this, Nathan, we got this last time and we get to see it again. It's honestly infuriating. I don't know. You're the perfect guy because I would be breaking shit right now because it looks like we were stolen from, bro. That can't happen. What you just showed us can't happen. And then I love that when you look at the mail-in looks like a normal election. And then you go to the machines and in a normal world, Nathan, the mail-in would look like the same as the voting machines, right?
Let me ask a question as well. If I thought last time we talked about potential manipulation of the voting tabulation machines. So would those not also be tabulating mail-in ballots? What's the difference there?
So what happens is mail-in is normally ran differently election-wise. It's almost like a different election if you think about it. What's happening is the counties receive the mail and they process them and tabulate them at the county level. There's generally more security. There's generally a longer period that they can be counted, so multiple days or multiple weeks before the election. Right. What's interesting, election day and early voting, depending on where it's at, is kind of the opposite. It's done at the precinct level. It's done only a few days or one day, depending on type. And there's less security because you have to have every precinct in the county do this. So what's interesting is, yes, we are seeing, they're not the same machines in the sense, although they use the same tabulators, they're ran differently. They operate at different times.
Interesting.
And so we bring up the question then, if there's a compromise of tabulation machines and you are causing this down ballot difference, this drop off anomaly, because you're changing votes, then we're seeing it focused around election day or early voting, depending on location. We saw it for early voting in Nevada. We're seeing it in election day for Pennsylvania. North Carolina, we don't have it as cleanly by vote type, but we're still seeing the concern. And what's interesting is we're seeing it, same concerns in Arizona.
Oh my God.
I visualized Arizona here for you as well. Wow. So we got 2016 on top.
Right.
We're seeing both candidates, and this is 2016. So this is Hillary Clinton versus Trump. We're seeing both candidates, that 1% to 2% overperformance on average. And then 2024, same concern.
Impossible. This is impossible. It's literally impossible.
Yep. Underperformance all across the state.
You keep saying it. Here, I want to say, I know you're trying to keep. You're trying to be very, very clean, very calm about it. He's trying
not to get sued.
Right. I'm not saying you're sued. I'm like, when you look at this. Okay. So my opinion, being a dumb layman, if you actually look at these graphs and you go, okay, if that's 2016 when we had basically our last normal election, and then you look at 2024 and you realize, wait, so she did so. We watched her rallies. We saw how popular she was. We saw the polls. There's no polling that matches these numbers, right?
We actually had polling that was the opposite outcome of what these numbers are showing.
Right. So
we had
there's no poll
that Seltzer poll as well.
Yep.
So there's no poll that shows that these numbers make sense in any swing state.
Iowa, which hasn't been wrong.
So my question is this: you're a smart guy. Can we get like 15 other smart guys to all of us? Because don't you feel crazy sometimes where you look at this and go, am I nuts? And should I have some other people look at this? Like, like we need,
Well, so that's the fun thing is, although I'm kind of the one doing the talking and doing this, but my organization, the Election Truth Alliance, it's a group of smart guys. It's a group of smart girls. I think we hit over 50 volunteers with their diverse backgrounds and statistics and data analysis. And we're all sitting in those rooms, having these conversations like, what the heck is this? So yeah, although I'm out here, I've seen this. This is the thing. I've seen this for 6 months now. 6 months. I've looked at these graphs, as my day job, and it's kind of sunk in at this point. As I said, if this is caused by vote manipulation, we're seeing this pretty consistently across the board. And here's the last one I pulled up for you. I pulled up Wisconsin as well.
Holy shit.
It's not, I will say there are places in Wisconsin we're seeing a little bit more normal. But yes, same problem.
But is that a precinct issue? Is that maybe they didn't get machines in there? Maybe those machines aren't compromised because it's still crazy. Yeah. It's still great.
So maybe those precincts would have been a landslide.
I mean, we need to get Neil deGrasse Tyson on some of this shit to look at statistics because statistically this is impossible. This couldn't happen.
So I'm glad you bring that up. So we did, in fact, go to a election expert, and I'll jump to that point. Dr. Walter Meban, one of the leading election fraud experts in the United States, if not the world. He is renowned for his experience. He is a professor of political science and statistics at the University of Michigan. He was given a grant by USAID before they got shut down, before they got doged. I think I can say that. So he co-developed the eForensic model, which is capable of detecting election fraud, statistically speaking. It can kind of estimate confidence of if there was manipulation. It uses precinct level data. So we reached out to him and we said, hey, we have an analysis on Pennsylvania. We have concerns. He ran the entire state of Pennsylvania through his model, through his analysis, and he gave us his working paper. We also did the same thing for North Carolina. So he has applied his eForensic model to North Carolina and Pennsylvania, and he has put papers out. One of them is on his website. The other we have, and it's not been released yet for North Carolina, but we have the numbers and we can show you a little bit. What's important though is he's well known. He's wrote over 11 papers and done 11 different analyses for elections around the world.
So like in countries where it's pretty shaky, like this guy's the go-to guy. Yeah, for like elections that are like, wait, come on, man, right?
Yep, and I think someone put this pretty good. Is he helped to design a tool that they never expected to point at the U.S. They thought they would always be applying it to European or African elections. They never thought that they would apply it to us, and yet here we are. And here's his findings. So in Pennsylvania, his model estimated up to around 225 or so thousand anomalous votes at the presidential race. We didn't look at the Senate races. We didn't look at the down ballots. We just looked at the presidential race.
Holy shit.
And the thing is, what's the margin of victory in Pennsylvania? 120,000 votes. So, and he's got a few different subcategories. He's got, I think, closer to a lower level, maybe 160 or so more confident. But even if it's only 160, his max is 225,000. If that is anomalous votes and it is caused by compromise of our tabulation machines or other vote manipulation, that would be enough to change.
I feel cold.
The presidential race at Pennsylvania.
So in a murder case, you bring up the forensics, expert, and then that closes the deal. That closes the case. Why? So can we
only on TV?
This episode brought to you by Mando.
Oh, another good one.
Have it on right now.
Likewise.
How's it going?
Good, pretty good.
Let me check.
Let's get the Grundle smeller in here.
Again, that's someone's job.
How we doing down there?
Yeah, they actually. So the Mando is a great deodorant. Actually,
you need it. It's hot. It's very hot. Thank you, climate change, and it's more sweat potential.
Yeah.
More heat. More Grundle.
More steam.
Nastiness.
There's a lot of rainforest going on down there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Mando deodorant plus sweat control. I think is the one you use. It's made for summer. It blocks odor all day. It controls sweat. It's powerful on pits, but it's gentle for your skin. It doesn't irritate your skin. It's like a high performance pit shield.
I got an alligator.
I have changed my deodorant. I I only use Mando now.
This whole company, this and Lumi, I use Lumi, was created by a doctor who saw that VO was being mistreated and misdiagnosed. And so she created these products. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. And he uses the solid deodorant stick. Yep. They have spray deodorant, which is aluminum free. I love the cream deodorant stuff. And again, they send people in to check the grundle. And it is, I just want to say that 5 times during this ad. What is a grundle?
Don't know, but the word's starting to bother me.
I like it. 12 hours after a shower, average man's grundle odor was 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average grundle odor is a 0 out of 10.
Wow.
I said it 5 times.
Wow.
You can find them at Walmart now and other retailers. Do they have it? Where do you bought it on the road?
Yeah,
you forgot it.
Yeah.
For the very best deals, you go to shopmando.com. You can get the starter pack. It's great for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash, deodorant wipes, and you get free shipping. As a special offer, I do that every time. Offer and listeners. As a special offer, listeners will get 25% off. As a special offer, listeners will get 20% off site-wide with promo code Titus. Use code Titus at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. shopmando.com.
Nathan, let's get back into this.
So did they only do this in swing states, Nathan? Was that where this was predominant, or was it across the country?
So far, analysis has shown the most heavily impacted places are the swing states, with the down ballot differences and everything. We haven't released our in-depth analysis of non-swing states, but we are seeing some concerns in Texas, the same concerns in Texas. We've actually found some counties in California that have raised concerns as well. And so we talked about Pennsylvania, right? 225,000 anomalous votes or so.
What does
North
that
Carolina.
mean? Explain to me, define anomalous votes just for my people listening.
Yeah. So what an anomalous vote is we do, and Dr. Meban, his model, does an analysis of precinct voting behavior. And so it looks at every precinct in a county, every county in a state, and it looks at how are both candidates performing across those precincts. If we start to see that a candidate is getting more votes in places where there are more votes, that could be indication of ballot stuffing. If we're starting to see other patterns that don't match normal voting behavior, that flags those votes as anomalous. And that's what we're seeing here is we're seeing 225,000 votes that are anomalous, and their behavior matches potential vote manipulation. So in the case of Pennsylvania, we're seeing a lot of potential vote stuffing, potentially, where you're adding in votes for one candidate.
And the machines could do that?
The machines could do that, yes. If you compromise them, yes.
So I just want to say this. So you're basically saying that the worldwide expert pretty much on who's come up with the program to prove that elections in other countries are being cheated, messed with, votes changed, whatever, came to our country and is now looked at it using a model that we know works worldwide, and is saying that this guy is saying possibly 225,440 votes in Pennsylvania were possibly fraudulent, which would exceed almost by more than 100,000 votes. So
Trump beat her in Pennsylvania by 120,000 plus votes.
She would have won.
Yes.
And do you remember Trump saying that, he's got those machines wired in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's we don't need your votes. You remember all that stuff he said?
We don't even need you to vote. We have so many votes.
He did say that a certain person knows those vote counting computers.
He did.
And we won Pennsylvania like in a landslide. 2 things that was important is, one, we asked him to apply his methods here. It never, I think that's what's interesting is it never kind of came up. There's no process. There's no protocol. We don't do this automatically. Why are we not looking at our elections automatically? And the other thing is, I think as you mentioned, is let's compare this to statistical analysis of banking fraud or a murder, right?
Right.
This isn't proof, right? This isn't proof. All we're showing is, statistically speaking, there is evidence that something happened. It warrants an investigation. It's the same thing as saying, hey, I don't have the body, right? But I've got the dude's missing. And there's all of these other bits of evidence that's pointing to this.
We've got him getting in a car and a camera. Yes, we got him getting in a car and a camera. We've got, got it.
And what sucks about what we're doing now is we know where the body is, hypothetically speaking. It's in the ballot boxes. It's in the ballot boxes in these counties in Pennsylvania. But no one's letting us open up those ballot boxes.
What would be the problem with recounting? What would be the problem?
There is no problem. We would pay for it as well. That would be the thing, is we would pay the bringing in the volunteers to pay the county's time.
And what are they saying?
I can say this now. As of today, the Pennsylvania Secretary of State's office and the state government's office has denied our request for a meeting. They have denied our request for recounts or audits. They've said, no, this isn't something we care to do. So.
And we don't want new graphs showing a spike in suicides.
Yet, do you remember that cyber ninjas? Trump paid for cyber ninjas who spent 6 months or 4 months recounting every vote in Arizona. Yeah. And my theory is, and it's a theory, is the reason is that because you showed us what really worried me. I thought about after you were here last time. I thought about 2020, and I thought 2020 was a canary in the coal mine and their first shot at it. But because of COVID, because of the write-in, the mail-in votes, they didn't bet on that. And do you remember Trump saying repeatedly, mail-in votes fraud, it's fraud, it's fraud? Because I think my theory is he knew what they were doing. And that's why the numbers changed so much. Remember your precinct motto, you'd say at 500 votes, things started changing. At 250 in 2020, things started changing. Do you remember this?
Well, and also,
yeah. So now you got a guy saying, and he started saying again that 2020, I'm going to prove that it was fraud. I think it's because he knew it was fraud because he was committing the fraud. That's my theory.
And the mail-in votes are less. There's a little more security because of the time it takes to process them and all that.
And they're local people. They're just people helping process it.
So if he has less control, if he can lose on the mail-ins, he's going to try to weaken that.
Yes.
And
that's what he did.
But doesn't it seem like when you look at 2016 and then you look at 2020 and 24, doesn't it seem like somebody got cocky, like really didn't give a shit? Because those graphs are so blatant that it just seems like nobody cared. It's obvious.
I will say the concerns we're seeing, there are some direct quotes from 2020 talking about how mail-in voting is fraudulent. Illegal aliens are voting by mail. The Democrats are rigging the election using mail-in, things like that. That was said in the 2020, up to the 2020 election. I think what's important now is we're seeing this problem, but no one's willing to talk about it, right? None of the candidates who could have been potentially impacted are willing to talk about this.
Why though?
It's almost, I'd like to describe it as the boy who cried wolf, right?
Yeah, but is it because? So, what do you think that is, Nathan? Because if I was Kamala Harris right now, I guess it would look like sour grapes. I guess because Trump said it so long. I sent the link to Eric Swalwell. I was like, you got to watch this, man, and because I've talked to him once or twice, and I never heard anything back. My question is this. Is it because they know they can't change anything? Is it because they know all hell will break loose? Is it because, what do you think? Why wouldn't anybody who saw this go, what the fuck is going on? We need to recount.
So I have actually spoken to some people, and their response is generally, if they believe it, they can't talk about it. They can't look like them. They can't, step out of line from their party's messaging. And that seems to be the limit. Is you spent the last 4 years saying our machines are secure and our elections are free and fair. And then now you can't do a 180, even if it could be the truth. You can't do a 180 and say, hey, surprise, we need to look into this more. And I think that is the problem, is we might just be getting, it's politics, really. And that's my concern.
And there's another tactical side here that let's say we did prove it. Well, guess what happens to our elections for the next decades? They're going to come into question every single time. So you got to defeat it behind the scenes.
Yeah, but okay. So we have to talk about this for a second. But here's the other problem. What we didn't have in 2020 that we had in 2024 was we had Elon Musk, who worldwide is known as one of the highest tech guys in the world. It is so obvious that that it's easy to go, hey, you had one of the most important tech guys in the world
and Trump,
involved in it.
who says everything that out loud said
and
he knows these machines.
We have enough circumstantial evidence to at least force a recount. I understand what you're saying. But the problem is if we don't do something and we don't get people to step up, we don't get the Democrats to go, hey, you guys got to look at this, because I know what's going to happen. They're all worried, then we're going to get called. We're going to be said that we were faking an election. But the reality of it is that, well, yeah, and we have evidence of it. The other side didn't have any evidence of it. We have evidence of it, and we had the highest tech guy in the world, and we need to restructure our system because someone figured out a way between 2020 and 2024 to rig the system. So
yeah, I'll throw a few things in here.
Because if we don't, one last thing, Nathan, if we don't do anything and we leave this as it is, it just we lose elections for the rest of till America's over.
Well, a few things then, as you mentioned, right? If you do say, hey, our elections could be manipulated going forward, it's going to be a common thing. What's important is the work that the Election Alliance, Smart Elections, and these other organizations have been doing is we're showing you how can you make sure elections are free and fair. We're showing you, hey, you can apply statistics to elections. So every election going onward, you can do this analysis. And if things are strange, you can look. And if they're not, then you can be more confident that our elections are being ran correctly. But what's more, we didn't even talk about this yet, but we have North Carolina numbers as well.
Okay.
So Pennsylvania, right? Well, so we're looking at, per Dr. Walter Meban Jr. and his analysis and his model, we're looking at around 207,000 possibly fraudulent votes, anomalous votes. The margin of victory in North Carolina is 102,000 votes. So if this is the case as well, let me walk back. North Carolina specifically, I think, is 184,000 votes. Dr. Walter Meban has two categories. He says up to 207,000 votes could be fraudulent. And he says with high confidence, at least 102,000 are,
there you go.
Per his analysis. Okay, and so we did the same analysis, not as advanced. We looked at precinct voting data. We're seeing up to 197,000 votes. So that would be enough to change the outcome of North Carolina. 183,000 votes pro-Trump. And it could be they were changed or added in or manipulated in some way to help him win that state, if this is the case.
Has anyone done any analysis on the machines and how it's possible to, what would it take to do this?
We have so Smart Elections, for example, has highlighted a few concerns with the machines. But I'll talk about the machines here in a second. Let me throw two other things at you real quick. So we talked about Arizona and Wisconsin too, right? You saw the drop off. You saw the charts.
Yeah, Arizona looks nuts.
What's that?
Arizona looks nuts. Arizona, it's such a weird. The graph is so obviously wrong compared to what
there's only a few counties.
Right.
Yeah, there's only a few counties. It's super noticeable.
Right. Go ahead.
Now, we estimated. So this is a slightly different analysis. We're just saying, hey, if the drop off is caused by vote manipulation, how much of that? How many votes? We haven't looked at the full precinct level voting data. We haven't gone all the way down to the county and the precinct level, but at least 119,000 anomalous votes in Arizona and at least 20,000 anomalous votes in Wisconsin. The margin of victories are pretty close in those states. Another probably 20, 30, 40,000 votes either way in Arizona would change the outcome. On top of this, as I said, we haven't looked at the precinct level data. So this is almost enough to change the outcome of those states alone. Just looking at the top of the ballot.
And vote difference. And here's the other thing too. If you could manipulate it, it's weird that all the swing states, all of them, were under the amount that triggers an automatic recount. We're outside the recount margin. They
were just over the requirement for an automatic recount.
This episode brought to you by FitBot.
Hey, just re-upped.
I saw that. I saw your confirmation email.
I used the code. It saved me, was it 15%? Whatever it saved me. I dropped my price down a little bit.
25%.
25%.
Our code?
And I paid
Please tell me you used your own name.
Titus. I used, and we're in for the whole year. I have to tell you, this, it's now a habit. It's now a hardcore habit. I do not miss my 4 times a week. Actually, last week I did because something we got screwed. We came home late from something. We got screwed somewhere.
Birthday party.
And I was so I was panicked.
Yeah, because you couldn't get it in. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't get it in, but also look, this app has changed my life. It's changed how I feel. It's changed my strength, everything from just literally just running upstairs to how I look. Guys, get FitBot for what half of what a training session would cost you. You get an entire year of someone that walks you down everything you need to do. There was something I wanted to do chest again one day, but it said, no, you've done too much chest.
Yeah, that happened last week.
Yeah,
he said it just denied you.
It was like, nah.
Yeah.
It is funny because sometimes when you're here late working, you will come home even at 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night, and you'll go, no, I gotta go get my workout in. Because sometimes if you don't, your phone will be sitting like somewhere else, and it'll go. It'll like, and I know the
FitBot notification. Son of a bitch, FitBot.
And it's a customized workout plan with your equipment, whether you have it or not, your goals, what you want, and then and your knowledge. It's going to teach you how to do these workouts too, and it builds. Did you see that, ladies? And it builds on itself. It's AI, and so it knows you. It knows where you've been.
It also does something that I found out recently. It gave me like 2 weeks of I was killing myself. I was like, what the fuck? And then like last week, it backed everything down a bit.
Oh yeah,
and it was like, you only do 2 sets. But it knew. It was like, and at one point I felt like I'm not working out hard enough. And then it was like, FitBot was like, when it
gives you each rep, does it give you the reps too?
Yep.
And then did you confirm it? Or do you go, I only did 8? Or instead of 9?
You can change it. So as you're working out with the thing, let's say, so sometimes it'll give me, I've got an elbow issue on this side, and it gave me curls yesterday, and it gave me 40s. 40s for isolation curls, and I was like, I can't do it. It hurts. So I went into the app. I just changed 40 to 35.
Okay,
and it made all the difference in the world. And also, let's say because it doesn't know everything. So it keeps, if you're doing everything it says, it'll keep bumping your weight up.
Right.
At one point, it hits a weight where you're like, my form is starting to suck.
Right.
So then I back it down 5 or 10 pounds, and I get my form perfect again, because I'd rather have it built that way, or she'll come in and go, hey, your form sucks.
I'll walk by.
You're hitting the ceiling, idiot.
That never happens.
Get in shape this summer with FitBot. Join FitBot today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription, or try the app for free for 7 days at fitbot.me/Titus. That's FITBOD.me/Titus.
All right, Nathan, give us some more nightmare.
And so you asked the question, what? How could you do this?
You got it ready. You got a graphic ready. I love you, man.
Well, so this is one. What can we do about it? I didn't want to throw anything else up here for you, so we'll just throw up a little placeholder. But I thought we had 30 minutes. No, okay. So we have looked at this. Smart Elections has looked at this. Free Speech for People, with their panel of cybersecurity experts, they wrote a paper. They've talked about, if you were going to pull this off, how could you do it? We've avoided this. We've avoided talking about the speculation. Why? Because we felt like there wasn't enough evidence yet. We're starting to get to that point. We're starting to get to the point where lawsuits are really bringing in the question, what's going on? So I'll answer this. As we talked about, there's 2 major brands in the US for these tabulation machines. There's a third and a fourth that's still pretty common. What's interesting, as we've started to see, per Smart Elections research, per some of the stuff we've pulled out of Pennsylvania, we've done records requests in Pennsylvania, we are finding that there's really only 2 auditing labs in the US, 2 companies that audit and actually certify our voting systems. There's 2 companies that do it. One of them is ProVNV. The other, I believe, is, I'll have to look at the exact name. It's some variants of SLI, I believe. And what's interesting is, as we've dug a little deeper into these companies that are certifying our machines, some of the most important machines in our country.
Yeah, the entire the machines that are the entire liberty and democracy are based on. Yeah, they're kind of important. Yeah,
they are the linchpin of our democracy, if you will.
Agreed.
And we are starting to find cracks in the facade that our elections are absolutely free and fair, and we've looked and we've checked. And the problem is, in Cambria County alone, they said they certified some of their voting machines. They put out they do a like pre-election inspection, and they certify their machines. They make sure everything's good. They test them. They had paperwork for this. They said, hey, we did every single one of our machines. We certified all of the types. We're finding now in records requests, they lied. They didn't actually test the machines that they are telling everyone that they tested. Machines that processed thousands of votes in Cambria County alone. And the question we're starting to have is, even if they did certify those machines, the companies that are doing these inspections are starting to raise red flags. We started looking at who are the people running these companies,
right?
Where are they hosted, where are they licensed, and where are they coming from? We're starting to find that Pro V&V, for example, the owner of that company seems to have some strong connections with some other questionable entities. They have, apparently he's been a part of multiple certification companies that have shut down and been shut down because of poor performance or other issues, and he has changed companies over time. We're starting to find issues where one of the leading the certification companies that Pennsylvania uses may not actually exist, or may not actually be licensed in the state that their paperwork says that they're doing tests in. We're investigating this right now. We're actually looking at all of the things.
Holy shit.
But it brings up questions. Who's actually looking at this? Who's actually double checking?
And why wouldn't, except for the people that are manipulating the votes, why wouldn't everybody be banging on doors like what? And why wouldn't we have a congressional hearing about this? Have you guys done any feelers out to that? Like, we need to have a congressional hearing about this.
Not only have we reached out to almost all of the major swing state governments, Pennsylvania, Nevada, we've reached out to other bluer states. We've reached out to places. We've sent personalized packets of data with a report to the governors of some of these states that we've not made public yet. Silence, absolute silence. And I think at this point they are aware. I've had confirmation that people received our things.
All right, here's what we're going to do.
For whatever reason.
Also a fear that he is now in this interim going to destroy the ballots. I mean, why would he?
The data still exists. So here's my question.
How?
Do me a favor. I would like, can you send me the list of people you've sent it to? We're going to do a podcast about it next week, and we're calling everybody out. Here's the problem. When you don't call people out on stuff that is obviously a problem, and you let them continue to be silent, they stay silent. If you start talking shit about them, and I put it out to 400,000 people, whoever, how many people watch us, depending on the thing, or 100,000 and 50, 200 of those call the governor's office and go, "The fuck are you guys doing?" Eventually that comes out. So let's get that from you. Okay. When you can, tell me who you sent it to, and we're going to call them out.
And I think, maybe next time as well, we could probably pull up one of their responses, and actually,
that would be awesome.
See what they wrote back to us and go over some of their, counter points and why they don't feel like meeting with us or looking at the data is worth.
Did you get some letters?
Get a response.
You're going to need more slides.
We did get a letter in response.
Did you?
I did.
Did they say there is no list? Is that what they said?
We got a letter in response from Pennsylvania a month back or so before we sent them even more data, even more analysis, and refuted some of their counterclaims. And then they denied us again. So we tried to sit down with the secretaries of state. We've tried to, be like, hey, we will come to you and we will have a little meeting. We'll have a Zoom meeting and we'll talk and we'll just explain our concerns and our problems. We'll pay for the recount in specific places. And they have said no. So
as of mid-June, the Trump DOJ is demanding an unprecedented amount of election data. We know documents obtained by NPR that they have pressured Colorado's Secretary of State to turn over all records relating to 2024 federal elections, as well as preserve any records that remain from 2020.
What's really interesting is a lot of the compliance stuff that's happening with Pennsylvania's systems is done in Colorado. Now, and what's interesting is, as I mentioned before, we're looking at the companies that have signed off on double checking the machines, have looked at any updates to the machines and said, hey, these aren't going to compromise the machines. We're finding that one of them, as we talked about before, I think it's called SLI Compliance or SLI Global. SLI Global is what's listed on some of their documents we got from the counties, but they don't actually seem to exist. And if they do exist, they stopped working in 2021. So we're really confused about who's actually looking at our machines, and if they're even licensed in Colorado to look at the machines. It's really opened up some interesting questions. And we'll put out reports and we'll highlight this kind of going forward.
Yeah,
because
do me a favor, keep us up on all this. Here's the thing. I am so frustrated again and angry. What bothers me the most is that democracy dies in silence. It just does. Democracy dies in silence. And if these people are not going to at least listen, at least look at it. At least look at it. Get, let's say they say you or me or whatever. Oh, libtard Democrats. All right. Let some scientists. So not that you're not a scientist, but you know what I mean. Give it to anybody. Give it to anybody. Just give it to anybody. And just who knows what they're talking about. Because just what little I know, I'm like, that's impossible. What you've shown me repeatedly is impossible to happen. It can't happen. And especially when you compare it, it's never happened in the past. Like when you brought up the Reagan thing and how many districts flipped, and then how Trump flipped, how many districts Trump flipped. It is so far outside the norm that
actually, I will highlight. You said it hasn't happened in the past. We found in 2004 in Ohio there were some similar effects, some similar anomalies that were showing up in the voting data per Stephen Spoonamore. And they launched an investigation. They found concerns that there could have been some compromise with Ohio's local election systems. So to say it doesn't happen in the past, nothing like this has happened at this scale in the past, but we have some key indicators.
That's what I meant. I mean, like you can get some weasel in the, some state's going to try to win his election. You can get it just ballot stuffing, whatever, to handle it like with the tech that it would take to do this, and to have one of the world's best tech guys involved in the election to the point where he paid $260 million. He said a couple things since they've been fighting that you're like, wait, what does he know? So
he also told Tucker Carlson.
There was a direct tweet, right?
He said, if Trump loses, I'm fucked, in an interview with Tucker Carlson.
There was a recent, I don't want to have to be the one to pull it up, but there's a recent tweet during the previous feud where I think he deleted it. Let's see if we can find that and you quote that for me.
The Epstein one?
He did talk about the presidential race.
Oh.
Yeah. He said he couldn't have won without me.
Yep.
Flat out said it.
He gave some numbers.
Oh, did he? Someone had just screenshot that.
He gave some, I think, House or Senate numbers. Let me look here.
So here's what I want to get clear. Here's why, because you're really smart. You say anomalous a lot, and again, a lot of people that you got to listen. Imagine the dumb people like Titus. So I want you people to hear from me for a second. So what he's saying is, and I'm sure most of you are getting it, but for those of you who don't quite understand what Nathan is saying, that when people voted in some of these states, the numbers are so weird because they voted president and below straight Democrat. But for some reason, they voted for the worst guy. They didn't vote any more Republicans, but except for Trump, or they didn't vote for president. That is almost impossible. Like the president, as everybody knows from throughout history, everybody thinks, most people don't even know who the down ballot people are.
It's usually the opposite. You vote for the president, not the down ballot.
Yeah.
All the time.
And so that happened over and over. And when he's talking about these votes.
Right. Yes.
She found it. You got it?
I remember this. Yeah. He said, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate.
That's very specific.
The numbers you're talking about?
That's a little too specific.
That's very specific.
That's a little too specific. Wow. Really?
Dems would control the House, and
we are seeing anomalies in the down ballot races, in the representative and Senate races across the swing state.
Which, if you remember from the prior election, that was what all indications were, is that we were going to take control of the House.
So here's the problem with not saying anything. Here's the problem with these Democrats, the weak-ass Democrats, and I'm so pissed at them, to not start throwing fucking bombs and dropping grenades on this is because what'll happen is they're just going to do it again. You know, you have to go. I mean, I don't understand. These were supposed to be smart people to sit down in a room and go, guys, this is what happened. We need to plan and we need to roll this out. They need to get it out there. And the people that you've talked to have basically said, we don't want it because we don't want to look like we're doing what they did. Is that the whole point?
Right.
That's fucking,
from what we've understood. Yeah.
But that's not what, but we're not doing what they did. They had some guy fucking talking shit. Now we have data
Evidence.
from 2020 and 2024 that shows, no. These machines were fucked with.
It's actually a brilliant setup. It's brilliant to
remember I said this,
pave the road that way and then steal the election.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep. Cleared the path.
And as we talked about, a lot of the analysis we've looked at indicates concerns in 2020 as well. And
I saw that.
Said, if you equate it to a boy who cries wolf, let's say you tried to change things in 2020 and lost. And then you spend 4 years talking about, the other side cheated and cheated this and mail-in is fraudulent. And then you win and you pull it off.
Yeah.
And then now, it would be pretty difficult to then turn around and be like, hey.
It's also, but when you put it that way, it's
Mesa County clerk, the election lady, Tina, what was her name? Tina, she's in prison. Tina Clark? Peters? Tina Peters. Tina Peters, that was actually, he's calling her a political prisoner, but she allowed someone in to mess with the voting machines. She's become like a MAGA hero now, and she's still in jail.
What's interesting, we actually looked at her time in Mesa County, Colorado, and she did actually put out some reports about the second largest voting system, the Dominion voting machines being potentially, weak in security. And then, as you said, went on to be charged for working and helping compromise systems.
Everything we say, he already knows about. And you always have this little smile, like we're dumb little children, but we're catching on slowly. We're slowly.
I already made a slide for that. Hold on.
Yeah. This episode brought to you by Hungry Root. This is all these go together for summer. This is like
we only have
hot girl summer.
We only have good company.
You're having a hot girl summer.
You always have you have a hot girl.
Hungry Root is amazing. It takes all of the crappiness out of grocery shopping for healthy food. Like you don't have to go to Whole Foods and
Sprouts, look at everything.
It's just like, so it takes the stress out of grocery shopping. It fills your cart. So you have a certain amount, you get to set it each week, and they fill it with their personalized selections for stuff. And then you can go and change it, swap things, add things. And the coolest thing about it is that you get to try new stuff. And it's healthy stuff, wholesome, like good quality ingredient stuff. And so we've actually gotten hooked on new stuff because
I do
of
like
Hungry
to
Root.
unpack it, and you're like, ooh, like there's something we haven't seen. She'll take it out. I'm like, oh, what is that? Let's try that.
It's so cool. So they have smoothies, kid snacks, sweets, salad kits, supplements. They have everything. They have stuff like healthy meals that are pre-made, but then they have healthy meals that take like 3 minutes to cook. And I made street tacos, and
those were great.
You said it was like the best thing you'd ever eaten.
Yeah,
and
those were
like,
amazing.
Watch out for ice when you're doing that.
Yeah,
all right?
what about my
You're deported. You had street tacos. You're deported.
It will do gluten-free, dairy-free, high protein, gut health. You just take a quiz and it just generates. AI is amazing. Also, it reduces food waste, and you don't have impulse grocery buys like I do. That's my problem. I always end up at Whole Foods when I'm hungry.
Trader Joe's is bad for me. I walk there and they have some of the best snacks ever. So this place takes that out of it.
Yes. So take advantage of our exclusive offer for a limited time. You can get 40% off of your first box. That's a big deal. Plus, get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/Titus and use code Titus. That's hungryroot.com/Titus, promo code Titus. You'll get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/Titus, promo code Titus. The best part is after Hungry Root comes and you open the fridge or you open the pantry and it's like,
It looks like, yeah.
Brightly colored. There's things that you can just grab and eat healthy, right? It's just hungryroot.com/Titus.
We have good companies. All right, let's get back to Election Truth Alliance and the nightmare of our current democracy. Nathan?
I think
years ahead of you guys.
You're going to bring up this point, right? Like, what can we do about it?
Yeah.
Right? If the parties don't want to talk about this, if the people in government don't want to talk about this, if they don't want to do their damn jobs and investigate this, what is left, right?
We're just fucked. The end of democracy.
We just give up, right? I guess we just go home. I guess I just, I disappear and, we're done. No. So we do what we're already doing, right?
Yeah, we keep going.
We make this.
Oh, I'm mad.
We get this out there.
You don't know about me. You don't know about me. This is going to be loud. I'll disappear before you do. That's how loud I'm going to get about this.
I'll stay away from window. We'll talk about, what's the next steps for us, right? We've got all kinds of evidence now. We've started digging deeper. We're starting to find cracks in the systems, and they're saying they're free and fair and they're safe and secure. Well, the next step is what we've been raising money to do, which is do what Smart Elections is doing. We look at these counties, we find places where there are discrepancies, and we have to do lawsuits. We're going to have to make this a real thing, and then maybe certain people can start talking about it. But it's going to take proof. It's going to take these lawsuits. We're looking at launching at least one, but perhaps 2 lawsuits here in the near future on some of that data we've talked about, but additional data we've not made public yet. Some other findings, some hard proof, some hard evidence is really what it is.
Is any reporters getting involved? Anybody helping you in the press?
We have recently started to have a bit better reception on reporters, but they've not fully stepped up and started writing down and making public statements yet. They will talk about the Smart Elections lawsuit, but they've not gotten to the point where they're actually laying out everything that we talk about.
We also have.
I do think
everybody is
Nobody
scared.
wants a target on their back.
Right.
Well, we also have evidence of the Trump and his admin of every accusation is an admission for all their other things. So what would make it different than this case? It's just as easy for the Dems to go, here's all the evidence. Here's what they did in 2020. Here's where they accuse the other side of doing things that they're actually doing, and they're doing it again here. So shut the fuck up with your cried wolf horseshit. I don't care. This time it was real and it's fucked up, and we got to fix it.
Yeah, but
there is a tactic for this. I believe it's either called Darvo or projection. I mean, it is actually a common technique used in politics in Russia, where you project onto your opposition.
Deny, accuse, vilify. Yeah,
I accuse the others of doing what I'm doing, and then they look stupid if they apply it to me. But so as I said, I did talk to a few interesting news article writers and news reporters and things like that, and it came down to this. This is what they said to me. They said, "This is all very concerning, but we're not able to talk about this unless you have proof, unless you have something more, something concrete. Statistics isn't enough. You're going to have proof that there's something compromised, or that's the next step. That's what it's going to take." And that's, as I said, so the ETA, we've raised over, I think we're going to make this public soon, but I believe we've raised over $200,000 and have built legal teams in some of these states that we're going to pursue lawsuits in next.
Do me a favor. Tell me. I want you to tell me what that money's going for, because I want our people that listen to this podcast to kick in. I'm going to kick in at the end of the day. Tell me what that money's going for. So, because here's what everybody's asking for money. So what we want to do is I want to know exactly, because you guys are actually fighting for democracy. You're literally fighting to make sure this country doesn't end up as some fascist autocracy. That's what you're doing right now. So where does that money going to go? Is it going to go pay lawyers? Is it going to go, what's it going to go for if we donate?
Yeah, one moment. I'll pull this up.
Good.
He has a slide. In the meantime, you guys, if you want to know where to go to do that or to learn more about what they do, electiontruthalliance.org. On their website, you can buy merch. Some of it is a little nerd joke, and I like it. The bunny tail merch, very good. bunny tail, they show a bunny tail versus the Russian tail and they show the graph. You have to be smart to get it.
Got it.
You can donate there. You can volunteer. If you're wondering what can I do, you can sign up to volunteer there, and then you can go and look at all of their resources and analysis there.
And Nathan, what would be the minimum piece of evidence that you would need to point to of a physical, tangible, like for instance, if we can track, if say somebody in one of these blue districts actually voted for Kamala, and then we can prove that their vote actually then flipped to Trump.
That happened in Rockland, right? That happened in Rockland.
And wouldn't that be then, we've got this
Rockland, In Rockland, it was independent voters that their votes were missing, and they're diving a little deeper there. Yeah, proof would be, for example, so we don't talk about this a lot. What's that?
We need a smoking gun. That's what the reporters are telling you they need?
So yeah, we would need something concrete. For example, we may need to prove that the state and the county lied about certifying their voting machines. That would be one thing, and have that in writing. Okay. Another would be, as you said, people saying, hey, I voted this way, and I live in this place, and there's something missing. The data, the digital reports don't match the actual votes. And that is, as you asked us this. So what are we doing? What is the donations that we're using go towards? What is our next steps? And so I have this very simple graph for you. Hopefully you can see it. As this isn't a graph. Sorry, I apologize.
This is your love language, graphs.
No, and in this case, it is a simple little diagram. So we've raised $293,000 since January, since we started this in 6 months or so. And what's important here is you're asking us, what are we going to do with it? So we have dedicated, we have a goal of around $600,000 to launch our legal action. We've retained lawyers across a few different states. We've started collecting plaintiffs, people who live in these counties and who are finding discrepancies. We're also diving a little deeper because we can actually pull the voting registration data. And remember when we talked about in Pennsylvania ballot stuffing, like digital ballot stuffing?
Yeah.
Digital ballot stuffing would be caused by you voting for someone who didn't vote, or that would be one of the easiest ways. And so what we're starting to find as we dive deeper into the states, and what we're going to likely base a lot of our next legal action on, is we are finding discrepancies in the voter database. With that, and these tabulation machines send data directly to the voter database. We're finding issues where there are changes to the voter database right before the election, when some of these states you're not allowed to update your voter registration at a certain time. So we're finding issues where if you've compromised the voter database, you could vote for people. You could make people and add in their registration data and vote for them.
So you could actually fake identities and put votes. Holy shit.
Yeah. So we are digging deeper into that. As I said, we're pushing for trying to raise up to 600,000 and then launching at least one immediate lawsuit based on some discrepancies we're finding with the machines being not correctly certified.
Are you confident?
And statistical data there.
Are you confident with your data that you can show that something was manipulated? Because what I'm hearing with Rockland, I was hearing people that, like, there was a couple places where 0 votes were cast for Kamala. Then there was another place where, like you said, the independent vote, that people said, I voted for that guy and my vote shows I didn't vote for him.
There were precincts.
How many of those do we need before we open? I mean, wouldn't we need a shitload of those? Oh yeah, it was just an anomaly in that one category. Of course, 1% of the vote or 1% of what 0.001% is going to be weird. It's just going to machine it. It's technology. Are people going to give you that bullshit excuse?
No. So you asked a good question. You said, so let's say Rockland County gets their recounts and we find discrepancies. We find people's votes were not being counted or being changed around. It doesn't just disappear, because then the question is, how did it happen? And are the machines tied in?
Right.
And then so the work we're doing, the work Smart Elections is doing, the lawsuits are all going to go to, hey, recounts is the proof. But then we are opening up the, Pandora's box, or the ballot box, if you will, to saying, hey, how did they do it? Did they compromise the machines? Well, here's how they could have. And we investigate the machines. We investigate the systems. And then let's say we get our proof, we get our audits, then we show that the machines were compromised. Then we're looking at class action lawsuits against using those machines. We can't use those machines in the midterms.
No, we need an entirely new system.
In the next election. They're not safe.
But this is why the Democrats are being shitty about it, because if you guys aren't bitching about this and we're not looking into it, because look, at base level, with all your data, all the things you've already come up with, all the and Rockland, there should be a fucking break check right now where everyone goes, hold on, let's check it, make sure. Because if we prove that it's not, if we prove that it was okay, at least, then we can all take a deep breath and go, all right, Rockland had a weird issue, but no one else has the issue. The problem is when you show the voting data, it is so clearly fucking wrong. Like, it is so out of the norm that for someone, Eric Swalwell, anybody on the Democratic side, to take a minute and go, yeah, we can't investigate that way because we're going to look stupid. Fuck off. What do you mean you're going to look stupid? This is democracy. We have a guy destroying the country right now. So we either start getting loud and we do it, or we lose our country. What bothers me the most is that if Rockland, is there a possibility that Rockland's going to get shut down?
It is a conservative state Supreme Court.
There is a concern. Their next hearing is September 22nd, I believe. And they're in discovery right now. But the problem is, like, at any point, the opposition can try and dismiss the case. And if the judge says, at any point, or I think the worst concern is, what we're seeing in like Colorado, right? Where if the federal government starts to, come in and wants access to things, and the ballot boxes are currently sealed in New York. But if we can't gain access to those, then there is nothing to opt. There is no recount. There is nothing to access.
Okay, so
this has happened before, where some county level legislation lawsuits, they got permission to look at the ballots, and the ballots were destroyed. That has happened before, and the county just faces a fine.
Doesn't this feel like it really feels like? Human beings don't change. This feels like some shit you read about in like the 30s and the 20s and with Huey Long and shit. This feels like
size noodles in 1830.
Yeah, it feels.
Miami just delayed their elections for a year.
Why?
They just want to do it on the even number years now. DeSantis even says you can't do this. They just said, no, we're not going to have it this year. We'll have it in 26. So those people were elected for 2 years or whatever, and now they're like, here, you get another year.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't actually vote on it.
They didn't.
Stayed.
What's
interesting?
What do we do? So here's my question. I want to ask you: do all the states hold on to their ballots? And is there a time limit they have to hold on to the ballots, the sealed ballot boxes? How do they hold on to this, keep records of it? How long do we have?
Yes. 22 months from the election. They are federally required. Yep. So a little under 2 years from the election, they are required to keep the ballots.
Fuck. Okay, guys. So do me a favor, guys. Go to Election Truth Alliance. Let's get them up to their $600,000. I'm kicking in some money today. What we want to do is we want some people that are literal patriots trying to help stop this. We got to and I want you guys to call your congressman and go, hey, what the fuck are you doing? You need to get a hold of this. Look at this data. There's two parts. At the Christopher Titus TV. Plus, you can go to Election Truth Alliance. You need to just get a link and you send this in an email to your congressman. Let's flood the zone with these fuckers, because what happens is someone's going to wake up. Because there's going to be a point that Trump's going to do something so crazy that someone's going to start talking. We have nothing to lose. We're already losing our democracy. We have a way in with this to actually stop what has happened, what I believe has happened. I look at the data. When you just can't. Everybody's, even the dumbest person I know is going, how does he win all 7 swing states by that margin, by the exact margin
he's
he
now
needed?
said 2 different occasions that he wasn't going to be here until they rigged the election.
He said they rigged
the election and I became
president again. Have you seen that quote?
Twice he said it. 2 times. I found it on C-SPAN.
How are you staying so calm? I literally want to start punching holes.
Also, I want to just say this. I know Nathan knows about this, but Joe Rogan, if you guys haven't heard this, on November 8th, on his podcast said, apparently Elon created an app and he knew who won 4 hours before the results. 4 hours before they called it, Dana White told me Elon was like, I'm leaving. It's over. Donald won. Elon already knew.
Yep. Oh, Nathan, if you get a big donation from something called the America Party, don't accept that.
Yeah, don't use that.
All right, don't use that.
Yeah.
Okay? Just let you know.
You won't just get it. If you get a big donation from the American Party, you're going to get some evidence in a box too, I'm guessing, because he's pissed. Oh, it's funny. Don't you find it funny that after all the people that Trump has fucked over, all his buddies, people who backed him up, and Musk gives him $260 million. And I told Ray this when it was happening, he's going to burn him down. He doesn't give a shit.
Everybody.
And now he fucked him over again. The problem is that I don't know. We're in a weird place, man. I want you to know, thanks for being on the front lines, man. And I know we've kept you on too long, but I want to thank you. We're going to, anything else you want to tell us?
I mean, I'll say one more thing and then I'll close out. But you said, how can I stay sane, right? How can I be calm doing this? This is the outlet for me. I wasn't calm in the beginning. I wasn't calm after the election when I started digging deeper. This is the outlet because I feel like I'm doing something. I feel like I'm talking about it. And then we go from there and we just keep pushing.
Yep.
It's courageous. And I feel the same way too. Part of me is like, should we be doing this? Because we don't want, there's craziness happening, but nobody has ever won by not getting involved when they see something wrong.
Nathan, are you seeing all the red dots on your shirt right now? Just because I'm seeing
lasers.
He's in a bunker. Look at the background. He's in a concrete.
I'm locked in here. No, but to clarify, the thing that I hear a lot, right? People are like, hey, even if we prove there was manipulation, it won't matter, right? I hear that all the time. They're like, it doesn't matter in the end. It's certified. The elections are certified. I think at the end of the day, what does matter is let's find out. Yeah. Even if we can't directly do anything right then, let's find out because it will matter going forward. Yeah, exactly. And last time I checked, I thought we were a goddamn democracy.
Yeah.
So if our elections aren't doing so hot, when I put my uniform on, right, when I took my oath, I thought I was going to work to protect people and to follow the goddamn Constitution.
Right.
So if our democracy and our elections aren't so free and fair, I feel like the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out what is going on. And then we can at least go from there, if nothing else.
And then hold the motherfuckers accountable. That's it. Because whether it's at the ballot box after we fix it or whether, and also the Democrats too, if you guys aren't going to nut up and at least look at this and at least bring it up, at least have a hearing on it.
Nathan, is it okay if throughout the podcast I just drop swear words for you?
Yeah, I do know.
This
it was
fucking
great.
chart.
No, I love to see Nathan get fired up.
Come on.
When he's in town next time, we're going out for drinks and we're going to just let him uncork, get a couple in him. And you're like, these motherfuckers. I just love to see Nathan uncork.
You said, goddamn, you're getting there.
All right, dude. I got to tell you, man, thank you for doing this. We are going to get you some more donations. We're going to do all we can to help you guys out. We want you to, and my congressman is going to be contacted repeatedly. This is something that needs to be looked into. And if it isn't looked into, we lose our country. What I don't understand is why wouldn't the Democrats want to look into it? Oh, politically, why? Because I get why Schumer's such a weenie. But here's what I don't get. Well, if you don't look into it, they're going to do it again. Right. And then you're not going to say it again. So they're going to keep doing it and you're going to keep losing. And pretty soon, so what's the point of not at least investigating it? What's the point?
What's the saying? The sun and sanitizing and something comes out in the light or something like that?
Yeah, the sun sanitizer. Yeah, sunlight sanitizer.
There you go.
All right. That's right. Ken does this with quotes all the time. Yeah, Thank you, Nathan, for being on, man. I appreciate it. I don't know how you keep it together because I'm about to lose my shit. And thank you for the couple of goddams. We needed those from you. I needed to see a little bit of anger. And thanks for your service too, brother. All right. Well, we will be in touch with you again. Send us everything. Send Ken everything you have that's coming up. Once you can release the new evidence, we want to see it. I will use my press contacts to talk about it too and send it to them. Okay.
Yep. I'll send you some stuff. I'll send you this PowerPoint too.
Thanks, brother. You kick ass.
Thanks, Nathan.
See you, buddy boy.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, pal. All right, guys. Nathan Taylor again has brought us fury.
I was going to say data and fury.
I need to get a heart check monitor again because this is
PowerPoint and pissed off.
Well, when you see the graphs, you just go, they're so weird looking. It almost looks like they're made up. Mm-hmm. You know, when you
That's
see
what I mean. It's somebody who was very cocky, who
Like-
just didn't
like,
care
as
about
if-
hiding it.
Like as if you put fuck you.
Yeah, that's
This
what it
is
feels
fraud.
like.
Well,
Middle finger.
I think what happened was, and when she said this, I thought this, I didn't get a chance to say it, although I said a lot. I was sorry for talking so much. What I did get is that you're right. After the 2020, because Nathan showed us the first time, guys, you can see the episodes that we did on 1 and 2. You can watch those first if you want. But what he said in 2020 was votes started changing at 500 votes per precinct, and the precincts that had less than 500 voters, they were looking really normal, right? Mm-hmm. But at 500, that Russian tail thing happened, and fucking vote for Trump went up. So that's why he was that's why he couldn't believe it. Remember in 2020, he couldn't fucking believe he lost because they knew they were doing it. Yeah. So this time they doubled it. So Nathan showed us the last time he was on, showed us that at 500 votes, 250 votes instead of 500, it went to 250. So they cut it in half because I think you're right. Trump was like, no,
they got to adjust it.
We got to guarantee it. No, he didn't adjust it a little. He was like, fuck that.
Because he was going to prison and going to lose all of his money and everything. And so, yes. And Elon as well. And we mentioned it with Nathan on, but there are 2 clips, not doctored clips. One, he's at a rally. One, he's in the Oval Office. And he says that they rigged the election and I became president. So that was a good thing. That was the Oval Office. And then the one at the rally, he says he wasn't going to be here for the 28 Olympics and soccer FIFA. But then they rigged the election. And so now I'm going to be here. He's just flat out says it.
You do know that's dementia. And at one point, someone took him aside and went, hey, the fuck are you doing?
Also saying we have so many votes. In fact, we don't even need you to vote. We have so many. And you know, they were like,
after this, you'll never have to vote again.
He said
and
that
after,
too.
you'll never have to vote again.
Elon saying if he loses, I'm fucked. Him saying Elon knows these machines
like nobody's business. We have so many votes in Pennsylvania. We have so many votes in Pennsylvania.
They've said it over and over. You have the people admitting that they did the crime.
But I really got from what Nathan said and the lack of response from Eric Swalwell is that they don't get, there is something in, remember I was saying this to Ray about two weeks ago. I said, I don't understand how quiet the Democrats
really
are.
Yeah.
This evidence, if anybody normal person looks at what he just showed us and you're like, what, wait, how come that graph looks like that? Yep. There's no way that should look like that.
Which they had to have seen right after the election.
Yes.
But man, Kamala and Joe just went away. And they have stayed away.
Bowed out.
And it's been dead quiet. And I think it's the same thing like with your ex-wife where people would tell us, you know what, I can't do this. I can't testify about what happened. I can't, she's crazy. I can't.
But at one point you have to realize this is for our country. This is for democracy. This is for literally keeping the country together. And again, listen, the graphs are the graphs. The data is the data. Can we just investigate it?
This is another fight. Even Biden said in democracy, you have to continually fight for it. Well, here it is. We're losing it. So, but you have to fight. You have to fight for it.
Or do they think if this comes out, if they do a hearing on it, they do this, it comes out, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, because I think if 10 million people saw that, it'd be like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I think what?
He just praised the Liberian president's English.
Oh no.
Their first language is English.
Oh no.
He just told him his English. He said, you have a beautiful ability to speak English. Guys, help us end this.
You don't talk like a black guy at all.
Oh God.
Jesus
He
Christ.
said such good English. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully?
It's the language of my country.
Where? Were you educated? Where?
Whoa.
No.
Were you educated?
No.
So the president said, he responds, I learned it in Liberia. Trump responds, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English you speak.
Fucking fuck. God.
We're an embarrassment. I was talking to a friend of mine who was just on tour with a band. I'm gonna name drop Mr. Nils Knopfler. I talked to him today, and he said they just did Europe and they were playing 60,000 seat stadiums, and he goes, it's really weird that the rest of the world knows what's going on. because the rest of the world is like, you guys are losing your fucking country.
I keep thinking that about my family, that you guys think I'm the one that's crazy and rogue, and yet the entire rest of the world is saying to us, are you guys okay? And actually, we're not allowing our citizens to cross your borders, and we don't want you here either.
And they call it the American Fascist Party. The same thing we've been calling it.
Yeah,
we're in alignment with the rest of the world.
We're talking Italy, France, like everywhere. They were like, what is happening in the country?
Where they invented fascism.
If this dude goes after Springsteen because I guess every concert, Noel said he was really eloquent.
Yes,
but he didn't back off. He every concert he was like, we are being run by a treasonous fascist administration, and he said it every show.
Donald Trump has now named himself chairman of the task force that oversees the World Cup
while he's golfing.
Look up Hitler. Hitler did that too. He named himself everything and got rid of everyone.
I'm employee of the month. Look at my picture.
I get to park everywhere. I get to park where I want when I want.
Border Patrol has now sent a message to LA Mayor Karen Bass. Better get used to us now, is the whole message.
Something's coming, guys. I'm telling you. I'm telling everybody.
Go look at MacArthur Park. We had tanks rolling up the streets with a guy in the whatever you call it.
Turret.
But I called it a turret the other day, but I'm afraid you might be saying that because I said it. I know it. I feel like it's called something else on it.
Well, a turret spins.
Yeah, just
a turret. It's called a turret.
50 cal.
If it's just if the hatch, you can call it a hatch.
It's the little shooty.
That's better. That's better than turrets. The little
shooty hole.
The shooty hole. It's the shooty hole. It flipped out of the shooty hole.
I'm going to type that into Google. Tank shooty hole.
No.
And let's see if AI.
You know why?
Oh, AI says the term shooty hole in the context of a tank refers to the cannon or main gun, which is the primary weapon used for firing projectiles.
Rachel.
Make that up.
That's tailored for you. It just heard you say that.
Modern tanks use this cannon mounted in a turret, so I was right about
your AI therapist is like, all right, she says shooty hole. Let's
tell her what she wants to hear.
What she wants to know. She's a princess.
My ChatGPT is named Selena. She named herself.
We have to, guys, do me a favor if you can. And man, this podcast did not start like this. I did not want to be someone that was like, hey, well, let's try to make a difference for democracy. We were just going to be funny.
Actually, our first one was about Gabby Giffords shooting. It wasn't exactly lighthearted.
True, and I've always had an opinion.
Yep. We both have. And
so congressman, call your congressman, let him know, send him a link to either Election Truth Alliance or this, and watch it and tell him that you're not going to vote for him unless they look at it. Tell him that if we don't hear anything, you cannot let democracy dies in silence. And if you can listen, all I'm saying is investigate it. Just take a look, have a hearing on it, have ETA come in, sit down, everybody ask them questions and just go, because that's one thing that the Republican, they did do it, didn't they? But they didn't do it they did Cyber Ninjas, and Cyber Ninjas said we found no anomalies. They actually found more votes for Biden. We have to get busy. We have to get serious. We have to get loud. There you go.
About the LA and the military, this ties to Trump's wish to have shows of force. So
he also hates Gavin.
Yeah, but perfect place to do it because he didn't get
Gavin.
it at that parade, that fucking stupid ass parade.
Squeaky tank parade. That was
Gavin
crazy.
came out and dragged him, and now we are the target.
Oh, Ray, we were talking about this. Ray actually brought up the video of the night Seth Meyers shredded him at the Correspondents' Dinner before he ran for president. Holy fuck.
If you guys want to see that video, Ray Bradley on Instagram, I'll send it to you. It's where it all began.
Guys, Seth Meyers being so funny, and Obama's on the dais, and Obama's laughing his ass off, and they keep cutting to Trump, and you can feel him getting fucking angry. He's not laughing.
The more intense he gets, just staring at him, and the whole room's laughing. You can see some people right around him start to be like, oh shit.
It's like you see, so they're shooting to come the side, right? And all these heads laughing, everybody's laughing like, and then you see, and Trump's doing this. not fucking moving.
The insecurity of somebody who cannot.
The total lack of character, the total lack of any semblance of humanity.
Yes.
You can't laugh at yourself? I don't want a motherfucker that can't laugh at himself.
Yeah. There's lots more in the news, but we'll have to pick that up next week.
Yeah, guys.
2 years ago today, Biden attended the NATO summit, where he emphasized the ironclad U.S. commitment to NATO security, and he discussed their ongoing commitment to Ukraine's security and imposing costs on Russia for its aggression for as long as necessary. For Russia's aggression.
That sounds awesome. That sounds opposite.
Today, your president congratulated the Liberian president on being able to speak English.
Which English is the official language of Liberia.
After saying alligator bait, now he said Shylocks. And he's like, I didn't know that was a Jewish slur. Isn't that coincidental that in 1 week you've said 2 dog whistles, racist dog whistles?
I find it stunning. We are in a crazy place, and the only way to stop it is to get, if we bring light to this, if our Democrats have the balls to actually look at this data, just have a hearing. Just have a hearing, guys. Just have a hearing. Let's get it out there. Here's the
thing, too, is like we talked about with Nathan about the rallies, about the polls that have not, Iowa hasn't been wrong in over 50 years. Right. She was polling way ahead. New York Times just put out an article that said that it's a new report that shows that Trump was more desperate for cash in 2024 than we knew before Elon came in. Internal Trump org documents show that he was extremely short on cash in 24. I guess Elon came in and solved that. The Times reports that last year, Trump's office building in Lower Manhattan generated too little cash to even cover its mortgage.
Wow. So that's another piece of evidence that he was
the
losing.
Golf courses didn't have enough customers to cover the cost to run the golf courses. Yep. And all the money that he had made in television had dried up.
Currently, 70% of their money right now with the Trump administration, not Trump family business, is in crypto. 70% in crypto. As a guy did an analysis of it, he says if crypto tanks, Trump's fucked. Yeah. That being said, all this doesn't mean anything if the elections are going to be rigged again. And so we got to do it. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Do me a favor. My new special is out. It's on my ChristopherTitus.com. Go get it. It's an hour and 40 minutes, carrying monsters. I dropped on my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, Titus Nation on Instagram. We just dropped a piece of the brand new thing I'm still working on. It's about immigration. And thank you, people who like it. It kind of blew up. Thanks for doing that. Thank you for getting it out there. And thank you for keeping us kind of grounded. This little computer in your brain keeps us kind of grounded.
Ohio, Cincinnati, Liberty Township.
This weekend. I'm going to be there.
July 11th, Friday, 2 shows. July 12th, Saturday, Dayton, 2 shows. July 13th, Toledo.
One show.
Bone, Sunday, 1 show. That one, most of these do sell out. So we usually do 1 show in Dayton. Now they're doing 2 because you always need it. So you want to go get your tickets to any of those shows if you want to go, because they go fast.
Go to ChristopherTitus.com for merch. I think I'm going to do a shirt that just says Republicans kill people.
Also coming up, beginning of August, Nashville Zanies, Levity in Huntsville, Alabama. Omaha coming up, San Francisco, Houston, lots of dates. So go check out ChristopherTitus.com. Or Rachel Bradley Comedy.
And Rachel's going to be filming her special in October. Go see RachelBradley.com and check that out.
October 25th. But I've got several headlining dates leading up to that you can, if you can't get out here for that, you can go see.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. For myself, it's a lovely Bombshell Ray and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
Thanks again to Election Truth Alliance.